and we are very happy to host this today. Sorry that we have to, that it's come to this, but we are glad that Tim Brunson approached us about hosting this today. And Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see such a big crowd. You never know who's going to show up. And it's also nice to see a lot of old friends, to include people that I met the first day that I moved here, Alicia, and as well as city officials, people from agencies, whatever. And I hope this doesn't turn into a standing room only, but our fire marshal will probably come and get us in trouble.
There are chairs up here in the front, there's 2 chairs over here on the side, and more chairs back here on the side.
Although I make films commercially and animations commercially, a certain percentage of what I do is for the community. I call them social, I don't call them social activist films, whatever Kyle called me the other day. But, you know, I do films that I hope make the difference. And about a year ago, knowing that I wanted to make a documentary, Lori Floyd and I started talking about addressing homelessness. At one point in time, I thought we only had about 7 people homeless in the whole city. And her predecessor opened my eyes. And now, I can say I know not all 300 or more homeless, but I know a lot of them, thanks to Lori and thanks to me getting out with my camera. And the goal was to raise awareness so we can start a public dialogue. And after we get through with this 19-minute film, I want to ask Lori and Mayor Jack Draper and hopefully one surprise participant to join us up here so we have a Q&A. So, without further ado, Shane, if you're okay, you're doing okay. We will have lights and action.
You don't want to live homeless. You do not want it. It is a hopeless, endless road that you want to ride. It's pitiful.
When you miss a payment, when you miss a bill, and that's it, and then you're on the street, and then
This has been the longest period. It's been, I think it's been about 4.5 months now. When I got down here, I was literally in the park. Finding different locations to go to. with women, everything is about sex. If somebody wants to help you, they expect the sex in return 9 times out of 10. Just even to get a meal, they want sex. It's extremely hard because a man, I mean, women can work too. Men can work as well, but it's just different for a woman out here. Some of them just decide to turn to selling themselves other than, you know.
Yeah, hey, I get a sausage biscuit and a coffee at this place and sit there for a couple hours, and boom, I head down there to the library, get on the computer for a couple hours. Man, I can't get nowhere. I can't get nowhere. My friends don't know.
So now she got outstanding water and I think electric or either electric and gas, however. And now she on the street with no kind of way to reach, to come out.
People do not treat you right. They really don't. They look at you different. They think, oh, you don't have a car, you don't have a job, you don't have any money. Why should we help you?
All around here, there's people everywhere. Pretty much if you look around, there's people, they're laying their heads over here behind these buildings and stuff like this. And even, it's raining right now, again, and there's people over here sleeping, and they're trying to survive the best they can.
I am struggling, and I chose, because I was on that struggle, not to have my kids going down through there with me. They're still small, and I want to get it together and not move them from street to street and place to place.
To be homeless, when you wake up in the morning, you want to be able to wash your face. I'm looking for a way to wash my face and brush my teeth and bathe. If I can't bathe and brush my teeth and wash my face, I'll be able to change my color. That reminds me of me.
What did you say your biggest challenge was?
Cold weather.
Cold weather. And why is that? Because you don't have shelter, or?
Sometimes I don't have a coat to warm up with. So I have to put my arms to sleep in my shirt.
I mean, you had nowhere to bathe, nowhere to do nothing. I've slept in houses.
I accumulated more clothes. The mattress, I had a mattress and all that stuff, and they threw it out there in front of it on the sidewalk.
I know I was living in my car for 7 days, and I had my 2 dogs and my cat, my 14-year-old cat. And I would go in to different places there in Oxford and take a bath because I had my pride. I've got to at least sponge somewhere, sponge it up, smell better. And I had all the products. I just didn't have any money to buy me any food. But I made sure my cat was. You can't get no rest on these streets. You can't get no rest. I've been back in Anniston 2 months, and I ran to Anniston sleeping in the park. I almost got raped by a group of guys. That hang out at this park getting drunk all night.
So when you only have an option of a shelter that you do have to pay to get into, or you have abandoned buildings, or you have something that you can afford to pay for, this class of people are running into not having the ability to do anything but live on the street or in an abandoned house. They're finding old houses, or they're finding places that they can kind of get out of sight, and at that point they become kind of out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of them don't even realize how homeless they really are, because you have to ask them. A lot of the times when I go out, I say, "Are you housed?" or "Where did you sleep last night?" If you ask somebody if they're housed and they think they're housed because they have shelter, but they have no running water or no electricity, for me, that's not being housed, that's just being sheltered. So if you're constantly worried about where you're laying in bed at night, we consider that to be homeless. I don't really know what a good number of the homeless population that is actually homeless. I know that we have, we seem to be passing through locations for a lot of people. I know that we have some people that are transitioning from Atlanta or Birmingham. We see a little bit of everything. We see people that have come down here because they had family at one time that was here. I think sometimes people believe if they come to a small town that there may be more opportunity for them, but when they get here they realize very quickly that they really probably should have stayed in a bigger town where there were more opportunity, because we just don't have the resources that they may have had in other places in bigger towns. But when you don't have any housing, giving them a food box or clothing them solves the problem right then. Until we can find more affordable housing and get them actually off the street or independently living on their own, they're still going to run into the same kind of crisis, because a lot of the reason that they're needing the food boxes or they're needing the assistance with the power bills is because they can't afford to pay the rent that they have. And it puts them into a burden, or it gets them to a point that they're having to struggle and get assistance from the different agencies in the community. But what can we do as a community to work together? What can we do to support agencies that are helping the homeless to make it better for us? So if people are struggling with, I know some of the restaurants have issues with panhandling in their restaurants. If we were able to get an affordable housing, or if we were able to find places like a drop-in center or somewhere to help keep them off the street during the day, it makes it a lot easier for them to be somewhere instead of just wandering the street. They just walk the streets. They spend all day either going to the library or walking the streets until time to go to the soup bowl, and you can get in a lot of trouble in between that time. And so there is a whole population of homelessness that people have either got laid off from their job and didn't have the resources to stay housed. And we run into that on a regular basis too, of they're in that gap of trying to find a new job and trying to keep their house because they've been doing really well for a really long time and all of a sudden have run into this situation. But I know that in the community it is a true fear that if we become homeless and people find out about it, then we're going to lose our children too. I think a lot of times people have a dilemma on whether or not to give a homeless person money or to buy them food or what they should do. They see that there's a problem